Hey guys, welcome to this new video. Today I have a special video. I have a special guest on the YouTube channel and I want to introduce you someone who is living in Myanmar. Yeah, today we're gonna talk about a different subjects. We won't talk about life in Vietnam. Then I want to bring him on my channel to give you some general information about how is the life in Myanmar. So you're gonna see we're gonna have everything on Zoom, so we can talk together about this. I will prepare some slides so you can follow up everything. So if right now you are considering moving to Southeast Asia and finding a country with a lot of opportunities, I'm really sure this interview will give you a general knowledge and actionable plans so you can foresee what you can get as a life and as an expat in Myanmar. Let's go on the computer together. So before starting what we're gonna talk in this interview, I invited someone who is from Myanmar. He's living in Yangon, he's a local, and he has a lot of friends, expatriate and foreigner, working in Myanmar. So he will be able to share with us his experience and his insights from someone who is surrounded by foreigner. So of course we're gonna talk about how is the life from over there as a foreigner, what you can expect. Is it easy to find an apartment? What's the budget you have to plan every month? What will be your expenses? Is it easy to find an apartment? Is it easy to travel over there? And because Myanmar is a booming country with a lot of opportunities, of course I want to ask him, is it easy from a foreigner to find a job in Myanmar? So if right now you are investigating this country, I really invite you to check this interview. He's here, right here, and we will talk about this in a minute. So I really invite you to check all the content, and I'm really sure we're gonna cover all the aspects that you are right now considering. Also, because I'm a business owner, I wanted to get his knowledge about, is it easy to set up a company, and what about the booming real estate market? We also cover this in the interview, so if it's topics that you are considering getting knowledge about, I really invite you to check this interview until the end. Let's get started. You start maybe by explaining it with what you are doing with foreigner.
Yeah, the very first question you talk about just like how's life in Myanmar for foreigners, right? So first of all, okay, let me tell you myself. So I'm a Burmese tutor and I'm teaching Burmese to many foreigners. So yeah, like I can say half of my foreigners like living in foreigns and learning Burmese because some of them maybe their husband and wife are Burmese, that's why they want to learn. Some of them they plan and come and work in Myanmar, that's why they are learning Burmese. Some of them living in Myanmar, working right now, and they are learning Burmese with me to communicate with the co-workers or colleague or something like this. So yeah, many of my foreigners living in Myanmar told me that it's really good to be in Myanmar because they told me that, oh, many people from Myanmar are like a very friendly to them. They're always, they never get like angry. They're always friendly. So even though some of them, maybe I can say in Myanmar, many people, they can read and write in English very well, but some of them, they cannot speak fluently. So instead, even though they cannot speak well with the foreigners, they are always friendly and okay, they are saying like a hi, hello, and they will always try to help to the foreigners. So that's why foreigners are really happy to be here because wherever they go, they are easily, even though they cannot speak much with the Burmese people always try to understand them. So that's really good for them. They told me that. Another thing is many of my foreigners, they are living in downtown. Especially downtown mean I can say in Yangon. Most of my friends, they live in downtown. This is in Yangon. So in downtown, there are, maybe you can get many things. So you can, maybe whatever you like, you can go and buy. It's like there are many people. So it's easy going. So the life, it's almost like it's a very friendly. They told me that even though they cannot much communicate with them.
Do they learn English at school and they are able, for instance, people who are 20, 25 years old, they can communicate English?
Okay, let's talk about that. So in Myanmar, all of the information is written in English, but they are learning the information from the teacher in Burmese. So actually, they can read and write, but they are not much used to be with the communication in English. So most of the new generation is good because like many the English train is there, many foreigners. Okay, yeah, let me tell you one thing. Some of my friends, they come from the US and here teaching English
Mhm.
to the Burmese people, especially from the university or from the college. So the new generation, yeah, it's going to be really good because most of them teaching, maybe learning the English from the native speakers. So I hope they can be uh, super fluent in the future. I hope, yes.
Okay, so many foreigners are coming to Myanmar to be English teacher. Do you have also other
Okay,
debat
yeah,
person?
okay. Let's talk about you're from France, right? So
Mhm.
I have like two students from France. They come and work here, especially they are working in French embassy in Yangon. So I think, yeah, they told me that they are teaching French to the Burmese people, something like this.
Mhm.
This is their French, right? Some of the students from US, they come and work in the university to teach English language. Okay, this is one category, and okay, the others, they are not my student because actually I was a web developer before, so I was working web developer for like a years. So there I, yeah, this is the one company. There many foreigners come and work here, so they are my colleague. Yeah, most of them I can say they are from India, so they are working as a IT field. So most of them are developers. So they also, yeah, they told me that, yeah, it's a really easy going here, even though they cannot much speak in Burmese because they never learned before. But most of the time they are communicating in their language or sometime in English in the office. So they don't need to know that much. So still, even though they cannot speak in Burmese, they can, okay, wherever they go, even to the shopping mall, they can they don't feel like, oh, they are telling me something. Like, no, it's most of the people, Burmese people, are try to understand them always. So they told me that, yeah, it's a really good, even though I cannot communicate within Burmese.
Okay. So basically very easy to settle down if you're a foreigner. So
Yes,
talking about the opportunities, so you say in the IT field you have many Indian, you have some
yes,
English or French teacher like from specifically field. Do you know
yes.
other industries where people are hiring foreigners?
When you talk about the other side, I have one friend working here as a journalist here. So he's not a professor. He's not working in IT field. He is working in the newspaper, the magazine. I think it's a journalist. So he's also like, yeah. There are many opportunity here because, like, maybe, yeah. Um, Most of my students, they told me that they just apply online. If they are agreed, they just go for interview and they just come and work here. So the opportunities are really great here because, like, the Myanmar, it's a developing country, so there are lots of things to be developed. So yeah, we really need the foreigners, the broad, yeah, the good quality people. So many people are hiring foreigners. Yes.
Okay. So either is it mostly local companies or do you also have international companies that start to put the offices in Myanmar to help in the development of the country?
Okay. When you talk about this is, yeah, it's a mostly the international company, international school, international university hiring more than the local people. I mean, local company, I can say. Mostly, yeah, local company, it's very less hiring the people from foreigner, but international company, they hire a lot more than the local, the Burmese people, I can say.
Okay. Do you have an idea your friends who are foreigner, what's the salary they can expect in Myanmar?
So I work as a web developer in a one company before. Yeah, there are many foreigners come and work here as the IT field. So I hope that they can get the salary between like 1,500 USD to maybe more than, maybe until like, yeah, I'm not sure about, yeah, it's increasing. Maybe I hope that it's starting from 1,500 to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 until 5,000 I get. Maybe it depends on their experience and depends on their
Of
uh
course,
the
yeah.
co- yeah, the qualification. Yes.
Okay.
So of course, because, yeah, average
And
it's going to be 2,000 USD, I can say. Yes.
okay. And now, because we talk about the salary, what is the cost of living in Myanmar? Like how
Okay.
it costs in average for maybe someone who still like to go out and travel a little bit in the country? Can you give an idea about the cost?
Okay, let's talk about that. So when you talk about the cost of living in Myanmar compared to, yeah, let's talk about with the compared to any other language. In Myanmar, it's a really the affordable because it's a really cheap compared to any other country. But when you talk about the food, it's a really cheap. Maybe yeah, it depends on the people, you know. Maybe if they like the street food, yeah, it's a hygienic. But if they like the street food for the breakfast, you can just have the breakfast like a less than $1, I can say. So it's I mean this is the less amount I told you, right? So mostly yeah, just average I can say just $2 you can eat even in the restaurant and even in the street food just for the breakfast. So uh the cost of living, it's okay, let's talk about the food, right? It's a quite cheap here. So even for the dinner, let's talk about my friends. Mostly they don't cook at home, but
Mhm.
yeah, if you can cook at home, that's going to be really more affordable for you, right? So you can
Mhm.
save like a lots of money. But if you cannot cook, it's no problem here at all, because they told me they're my friends, right? They are living in downtown, because in downtown there are many street food, there are many restaurants, it's quite cheap. So okay, let's say before they go to the office, they just had the breakfast outside, they go to the office in the lunchtime also, they go and have outside, even dinner they go and have outside. It's quite okay. Maybe they can finish maybe less than $10 a day, I can say, for the food. Okay, when you talk about the transportation, it's also yeah, transportation compared to like a years ago, now it's increased a lot. I mean it's improved a lot.
Mhm.
So not maybe in years ago, I can say it's lots of people in the one bus. It's a very tight, you know. Now in these days, it's quite good. It's like okay, it meets the standard. I can say we even people oh it's a prefer okay this bus is good. So even the facility inside is good. Sometime yeah, sometime you know when we talk about office time, like there are lots of people going to the office at the same time. At the time only, it's going to be a little tight. Otherwise, it's really easy go and come and go. And the transportation like the bus, or the bus is more commonly used instead train, right? So the bus calls also very cheap. I can say just like a $0.2 a time or something like this. So don't worry about that. Okay, when you talk about the cost of living, I mean renting the apartment, okay, this is depends on the people. Maybe if you want to live alone or with the friends or with a group of people in a one room, so it depends. Okay, let's talk about my friends. Maybe yeah, working in an IT company here. They are they actually they come and work here as a group of friends. Maybe
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not sure about they. Yeah, maybe yeah, they come and here work, then they become friends. Then they are renting a one apartment and they live together. So for them, this is really cheap because uh maybe yeah, they told me that like a 4 or 5 people just renting one apartment. That is around I can say $400
Mhm.
for 5 people, 4 or 5 people. So you can see, so 4 or 5 people, just $400 a month, so they can save a lot of money. But if you want to live alone, that's going to be a little more expensive. But yeah, if you want to go for budget, I mean, if you want to make it less the cost, then maybe if you even want to be alone, it's okay. We can arrange with $200 a month, I guess.
Okay, maybe a small room, right, in a small apartment. And if
Yeah, small apartment, especially in the building. Yes.
okay, and if some foreigner want to have their own apartments with their own bathroom and maybe a small kitchen, you say for about 400, $500 per month, they can
Yes.
find apartment. Okay.
Yep, $400, $500 mean they can, maybe if you want to live alone, 400 by $500, you can really find a good apartment, I can say. Just like
Okay.
maybe yeah, now it's a dollar rate is a little decreasing, so I can say just like a starting from 450 to 600, you can find a really good apartment here.
So inside the country, if you want to travel in different cities, do you have inside plane? I mean, is it quite easy to book a plane and to across the country?
Of course, yeah, we can like okay, let's say, yeah, most of the people where they are going. Okay, let's talk about right now. I live in Yangon, so most of the people, okay, let's say my friends, they work in Yangon. In the early time, in the holiday, they just go to the Mandalay. You know Mandalay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another city. It's also very famous city, like a Yangon, I can say. In Mandalay, there are many the tourism places they can go and visit. So in their holiday time, they just book mostly, yeah. Sometimes they go by bus, sometimes they go by flight. if you even if you go by flight to Mandalay, it's not much cheap. I mean, it's not much expensive. It's quite cheap only. Yes, of course, yeah. If you have the passport and valid visa, then you can just go anywhere, even in the local, the places. One city, okay, Naypyidaw, Molimyai, but some city we don't have a I mean, the airport yet. But most of the famous city, definitely, yeah, we have an airport. Yes.
Okay, so to give an idea of the price, if you book in advance, maybe 2 or 3 months before taking the plane, how much it
Of
costs?
course, yeah. Of course, yeah. You can get a cheap price if you book a little advance. Okay, let's talk about Mandalay. Maybe. Do you want to talk about me? Maybe with the Burmese currency or with the dollar? It's more perfect, right, for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
in
let's
dollar,
say.
yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead,
let's say
Maggie.
if you talk about the Mandalay, especially Yangon to Mandalay, maybe let's say if you talk about the hours go by bus, it took like 8 hours. I can say 8 hours, right? So the difference is 8 hours by bus. If you want to go by flight, the cost would be just less than $90. I can say less than $90 USD. But if you book a little more than earlier, maybe 3 months, maybe like a 2 to 3 months advancement, you can get even cheap. I can say.
Okay, so $90 to go and to come back.
Yeah. If you talk about $90, maybe okay.
No,
Let's make it
only one
150
way.
for go and come back. Yeah, I'm just talking about one way
Okay,
because
okay,
this is a little far. Naypyidaw. I mean, the Mandalay is 150. You can just go and come back. Yes.
okay, I see. Okay, so when we compare this with the salary we can get as a foreigner, if you say even someone who gets starting, who is a little bit under the salary that you say, maybe $1.2 thousand, $1.5 thousand, even if that person pay for a quite decent apartment, he can still have money to save and to enjoy holiday, right?
Yes, of course. Because Myanmar, it's the affordable price. You can even you rent a car, even you maybe rent a house. If you just go by transportation, you can get compared to another country. So it's quite cheap. So of course, yeah, you can save. Because
Okay.
yeah, in these days many foreigners are learning Burmese with me. Most of their intention to come and work or to start a business or to just maybe they are looking for a job here, so of course yeah they can save money, right? That's why, yeah.
You mentioned starting a business. Is it easy? And do you think there is a lot of opportunities for foreigner to start a business in Myanmar nowadays?
Because Myanmar, it's really looking for a maybe just they are opening the opportunity for like a foreigners a lot because Myanmar it's a still developing country, so it needs to be improved a lot. It's need to be developed a lot. So the government is always opening for the foreigners to come and invest or to come and work in Myanmar to be get a like the developed country. So no, as far as I know, it's not much difficult for foreigners to start a business here if they meet the eligibility requirement. Okay, if you are starting a business, yeah, you have to meet these. So if you are meeting this, okay, it's going to be not much difficult, I guess. Yes.
Can we talk more now a little bit about real estate? So I check online and I found that there is some first condominium that are currently under construction or finished in Yangon and that are
Yes.
eligible for foreign investors. Can you share to us a little bit more about that, about the real estate market in general, maybe the developer that are building a condominium and normal real estate in Myanmar?
Okay, let's talk about the real estate. Yangon, like when you talk about the land, it's the price is always like day by day, it's increasing a lot. So maybe let's talk about Yangon. Okay, right now, maybe the place I live, this is yeah almost like a near to the downtown. So where I live right now, the place, the land, it's a very expensive because it's quite near to the downtown. But if you talk about a little far from it's still in the Yangon, but it's not near to the downtown place. This is we call like a Dalla. This is a township in Yangon. So Dalla, maybe if you just talk about 2 years ago, the Dalla is there, like the land are very cheap. Maybe if you talk, okay, not maybe not starting any house, not starting any home. If you want to buy the land, it's very cheap. Now maybe last year's onwards, the government started opening a bridge to the Dallas straight away to the downtown. So that's a real. Before that, before starting a bridge, people really hard to make a transportation. So because they have to travel by boat for just 20 minutes and they have to come and work, they have to go by boat 20 minutes. So it takes much time, you know. So now last year onwards, they are starting a bridge because they get an opportunity, right? So many people, they are really would like to invest there. So they are would like to start the real estate, or they are would like to start a construction. So many people, what they are doing, if, let's say if the people are rich by money, then they just go and buy, and they buy the money and they just save for the future, or maybe they plan to start the construction. So now in these days, instead of starting the construction in the downtown area, what people are doing means they just go a little far from the downtown. They buy the land, they are starting the construction, and their land also, the price, it's increased a lot, I can say. It's totally different than before. In these days, little far from the downtown, there are many constructions going on. Most of them, I can say, it's maybe partner with the foreigners. So yeah, this is just like the foreigners opportunity. So they come and work, I mean, they come and join with a partner, local partner, and they are doing like a real estate business. Yes.
So there is a lot of developers who are building the condominium or the different buildings that are joint venture, right, between locals companies and foreign investors, right? Maybe from, do you have many people also from Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong? Do you have also those nationalities that are investing in Myanmar?
I don't know much people who are investing here. I know many people who are working here. So, but yeah, I know like many construction, they are like joining with the local partner and they are starting a business. So I hope like there are many opportunity for the business as well who wants to invest here, especially real estate, because many lands here, even in Yangon, it's not much construct yet. There are many freelance are there. People go and buy, they are starting the construction, they are doing the real estate, and they are selling the to the customers.
Because I have the knowledge about Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, and it's the same. It's like the city is moving very fast, and there is huge infrastructure that are constructed. So they put bridge, they will put tunnel. This year, they also finished the metro line, you know. So this is really a city that is also moving a lot. So I can compare from what you told me about, I mean, I can guess how is it moving as well in Yangon. About the visa, there is
Okay,
there is a tourist and the business. Can you talk about that a little bit for foreigners?
Okay, let's talk about the visa. So getting a Myanmar visa, it's, don't worry, it's quite easy. Okay, let's talk about the tourist visa. Tourist visa, it's the cost, it's probably be $50, I guess, yeah, mostly, because yeah, one of my friends told me, yeah, it's a $50, it's for 90 days. So this is not an e-visa. You have to apply first before you just come to Myanmar, right? So this is going to be for the tourist visa. Don't worry about it. It's not hard at all. If you are planning to come and like doing the tourist here, don't worry, you can get the tourist visa. Okay, let's talk about the business visa a little bit. So when you talk about the business visa, the cost, it's going to be, I think, probably $100. I think it's a $90 to $100. So they also, yeah, get a permission, maybe they get a stay for 90 days. But maybe they might need some bank statement, like they need some invitation letter from the joint company, or they have to show some document like this. If they're eligible, of course, yeah, they can get it.
If you can give now maybe to summarize your perspective about the foreigner coming to Myanmar to invest, to find a job, to find opportunities, can you give some general advice or how you could maybe advise them if they want to move and settle down in Myanmar?
Okay, let's talk about a little bit about that, right? First of all, yeah, I would like to tell to the foreigners, don't worry about this. Myanmar, it's a really safe, really safe for the foreigners, because many foreigners told me that Myanmar, it's they feel really safe here. So it's a safer, maybe, yeah, maybe the safe country, and as well as the very friendly people they can get it. After that, like there are many opportunity here for the foreigners, because Myanmar is a still developed country, so there are many opportunity waiting for the foreigners. So of course, yeah, they can come and work, or they can come and start a business, or they can even, yeah, do a tourist here, because there are many tourism places here people would like to visit. So yeah, this is one thing I would like to tell you. After that, the cost of living also compared to any other country, maybe it depends, you know, sometimes maybe if you just come from the western maybe let's say USA or maybe the UK, or sometime the food it's really good, I guess. But for the Western people, it's going to be a little different for them, I think, because here mostly spicy food, noodles, these kind of things. So, so when you talk about the food, yeah, don't worry. Mostly, yeah, many people here, foreigners, told me that they really like Burmese food. Maybe before that, they don't like the spicy at all, but when they come and reach here, oh, they like some noodles, oh, they prefer to take it. But some of them, yeah, they don't like it the spicy a lot, right? So, yeah, this is maybe, yeah, there are many, don't worry about that. Even if you talk about that food, like there are many foods here, maybe there are many restaurants as well. When we talk about, okay, if you come from like a China, there are many Chinese restaurants here. If you come from maybe Western maybe countries, there are like many the restaurant here based upon their requirements. So don't worry about the food as well. The food also it's good here, but sometimes maybe when you talk about the street food versus the restaurant, the street food is also it's a good, but it's a quite cheap, and some people I'm not sure whether they like it or not. So compared to restaurant and street food is always that's cheaper than the restaurant. So when you talk about the budget, don't worry here. It's a maybe you can save. Maybe yeah, if you get the salary, yeah, maybe don't worry about the expenses. Expenses it's not going to be much because it's easy going. So maybe compared to any other country, maybe okay, let's talk about compared to Singapore. So I have been to Singapore for like a 3 times. So compared to Singapore, it's the huge differences. So
Yeah, for
let's say
sure.
if you're going, yeah, because that's why even yeah in Myanmar, you don't need to worry about the cost because, yeah, that's why I just told you, like, let's say when you talk about taking a dinner or taking a lunch or breakfast, just we can finish maybe within $5, you can eat with your best one. So it's not going to be much $5. But yeah, if you are going to a real good restaurant or really famous restaurant, yeah, the cost it's going to be higher, right? Otherwise, you can save a lot of money here. Yes. We talk about as a summaries, we talk about many things, right? The cost of living, the just life in Myanmar for foreigners. Okay, now let's talk about what are the things the foreigners maybe needs to be prepared a little bit. This is not the it's not the agent just for the information because in Myanmar, okay, let's say if you're foreigners, you speak French and you just come to the Myanmar, and if you maybe let's say if you are coming to work and it's no problem because mostly you are going to communicate with the people mostly in English, I guess. But if you are coming to here to go for the tourism or just to visit in the places to know the language, it's a little good, because it's not as a very advanced level to be maybe okay, let's say if you know like some the basic the gradients and the common phrases what people are using, then it's going to be enough. If you learn like a just 2 to 3 hours, then okay, that's going to be really good for you because you can communicate with the people, oh, just like oh, Mingalaba, Nekauna, some of the gradient words, then oh, they also feel a little happy and they are also willing to help because in Myanmar people don't worry about that. Even if you don't speak in Burmese, they are always it's really happy to help you. And at the same time, maybe yeah, they also maybe they don't have much opportunities to speak in English. They also yeah well try to speak in English, even though some of the people they can speak in English very well, but some of the people yeah they cannot much speak, but they can understand, I guess. So to know the language and to come to this country it's the best, right? So to know some the basic words and basic phrases, it's always help you to just go around the country. This is my another advice. Yeah.
Okay. No, so Bess, thanks again for having giving us a general perspective from someone who is living there, who is a local, and who used to deal with foreigner. I really appreciate that you could share everything with me and with my audience. If you want, I can put everything in the description. On YouTube, I can put your information. So if some people want to move to Myanmar, they can get in touch with you and they can have general perspective and maybe get close to you to have some of your insights.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.